Hi, I'm Rob. Make it better. That's what I do. And this week I posted a swing from an amateur, and he has the best swing in the history of golf. There is no one who's been able to swing the club better in the history of golf. And that's a pretty big statement, by the way. But it's still true. People believe that maybe Ben Hogan or Nicklaus or Woods or someone else was swinging better. None of them did. And here's a very easy way to a two pro, especially because they will get it. You can take any two pro and ask them to post a swing from the same angle as this guy did, and then ask themselves which one they prefer. None of them gonna pick their own swing. Amateurs won't understand that, because two pros has one of the benefits they have is that you develop a lot of internal sensations, and the reason for that is because they fight their body and the golf swing every day they play, every day they practice. They can never get it to work. I mean, it's not like, people don't understand the difference here, right? If you learn to ride a bike or drive a car, something like that, and you never do that again for the next 50 years, you can still ride a bike or drive a car. You never forget that. It just works. And the reason why the golf swing is breaking down for every time, every day, is because they teach you an unnatural sequence. You get stuck, have to learn to compensate, and well, now you get back problems and something else. Usually, an irregular game. I saw Morikawa for a couple of years ago. He was in the lead on Sunday, and he hit a shot from fairway. The ball just took off and went into the shithead of everything. And he looked at the ball and where it went, and he looked down on the fairway and looked at his caddy, and he had this puzzled look in his face, like, what the fuck just happened? He lost the tournament. He was in the lead with 2-3 shots at the time, and his game just went fucking downhill. He didn't know why. Because the shot felt normal. This is what everybody, no one saw that. I saw it, because I understand this shit. The shot just felt normal, but it went somewhere else. How do you fix that as a two pro? You can't. Because two pro gurus can fix it for you. Right? Anyway. So I'm happy with this amateur. The backstory of this guy is that he tried for 5 years. For 5 years, he wanted to get better at golf, right? So he took lessons. And he tried first one PGA certified instructor like Hank Haney, Sean Foley, Butch Harmon, Pete Cowell, Monty Schumer, others, But it didn't work. So he figured maybe it's, because every time when he went to play with it, he just went to shit anyway. And they have TrackMan, they have video, he did the instructions, he did the lessons. He did the work, didn't work. So he tried another one. He tried 12 different instructors over a period of 5 years. It just didn't work. So after 5 years, he was fed up with this shit, right? And then, I must be someone out there who knows what they're fucking doing. So he searched and he found me. So he tells me this story, right? 5 years, 12 instructors from PGA, certified. The best of 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 the best instructors of golf in the whole world. Do you think you can help me? He said. I said, yeah, send me your swing. I said. He sent me a swing, and first swing sequence I saw, I was like, oh shit, he doesn't do what he's supposed to be doing. How can 12 certified instructors not understand that? Because they don't know. They don't know. They don't know. Can you imagine that? No, you don't need to. The truth is, PGA teaches 90% of every golfer in the world will be a mid to high handicapper. Less than 10% will be a single handicap, right? And usually they can't play at the handicap because, they fight the swing and body. That's what PGA teaches. 90% will never reach a skill level and certify for playing the golf course the way it's supposed to be played. That's why they implemented the handicap system, because they thought golf was too difficult for people to learn. Everybody says, oh, the golf swing is so difficult. Yeah, because that's how they teach it in PGA. I think the golf swing is fucking easy. I understand it. But that's not enough. I'm teaching it also. So this guy, right, when he posted that swing this week, I was like, oh, best golf swing in the history of the game from the amateur. Better than any two pro, alive or dead. I told him that, you know, that's the best you I've seen you swing, you know, and it's fucking amazing. And he felt it. Let me tell you, oof. He felt it when he hit the ball, you know. If Jordan Spieth, for example, would have that, what this amateur is doing, he has the opportunity to win 20 more majors in his career. At the moment, he's shit out of luck. Sorry, Jordan Spieth, that's just what this guy's teaching you. And it's pretty big embarrassment for PGA that they have those numbers. And this is a fact. This is not something I pull out of my ass. This is something you can test and verify in every country in the world. What kind of handicap, because you have a handicap system and you have logging systems, and you will see, right? Distance-wise, you lose 50 meters with PGA also, right? Because that's one of the major issues with the handicap. You know, you hit too short. You lose around 50 meters from the golf instruction PGA offers. People don't know this. PGA doesn't know this. Because they're teaching you, and everybody's doing the same thing, right? They tell me, well, I'm doing everything right. I'm telling everything they tell me to do, and it's supposed to work, and it should work, but it never does. But then they don't do this, what these guys did. After a while ago, well, maybe this is not working. Everybody tells me it's supposed to, but it doesn't work. What's going on? They don't know. So, you know, they keep recommending, you know, to do more of that PGA teacher. He knows what he's doing. No, he doesn't. I had so many people over the years, you know, point out, well, what about this instructor? Same shit. It doesn't work. You can keep doing it, paying tons of money, and it will never really work. It doesn't for two pros. And they have access to everything, you know. They have access to personal coaches, trainers. Wake up at 5 a.m., you know, go to the gym, you know, spending, you know, whole day practicing, and they still have to fight the body and the golf swing every fucking day on the range when they play, and they can't fix it. Because if they post their own swing next to this guy that I posted this week, they pick my guy's swing every fucking day, and they intuitively know that, because that's one of the benefits with two pros. They have developed all those sensations internally, and they have a kind of an eye for things, and while they may not know what's going on, they know something. That's better. And I was happy with the guy, you know. He spent all those years, you know, with 12 instructors, and he stuck with me, and, you know, playing the game, because I asked him a few years back, you know, yeah, I go out and play the game. It just works. Now it's going to work better. It doesn't mean he's going to be a two pro or something like that, but he will be out there, you know, playing the game somewhere in a whole different way than he never could before with PGA. 3 years ago, I had a 50-year-old, you know, telling me that he's going to go all in on this stuff, and I told him, oh, okay. And after a week, I told him, can you post you're doing the drill, you know, tilt and lift? And he did. He didn't do it right. I said, that's not my drill. And he told me, well, it feels bad doing it. He shifted and changed his grip, but he didn't do the drill correctly, right? Because he said, well, it feels bad. And I said, well, you either do them the way I, you know, describe them and put them out there and add it, or you don't. But you said you're going to go all in. So he caved. 6 weeks later, working on this, he went from he was at 240 yards for 2 years with PGA instructors, by the way, and now he's at 350 yards. So there's a 100-meter increase from an amateur. And let me tell you, his game has changed that summer dramatically. At the end of the summer, he shot 1 under par for the first time in his career, in his life, of golf, at age 50. I had an old man, senior, they like to call them, I'm reaching that level myself. And he posted his spring. He was playing and he was able to, you know, drive par fours at 320 yards at age 68. So 68-year-old, you know, he hits at 260 plus normally. Under good conditions and such, you can hit it, you know, drive the, you know, par fours at 320 yards, which is pretty good for a 68-year-old, if you didn't know that. He actually hits longer than 90% of every amateur in the world at age 68 with what I did, telling him to do. With PGA, he couldn't do it. I mean, he's 68 years old. He's probably been playing golf for 50 years or something like that. People don't understand. You lose 50 meters from tee with PGA. Then you learn a lot of compensations. And then you have, like Justin Thomas recently had a disc injury. I mean, because here's your spine works like this, right? You have a disc protecting you, you know, and you have another disc, and you have another disc, like your whole spine goes like this. And between each disc, you have all those, you know, bone things, right? And when the bone things are turned, they twist a little bit, right? You know, this is why people tell you when you lift things like this, you're supposed to lift it with a straight back and not turn at the same time, right? So in golf, they teach people to jump up. That means that the body, upper body is going down, the lower body is going up, and then they twist the spine at the same time. It's just waiting for someone to crack the back. You know, Tiger experienced that firsthand. Lost his career when he did that. That happened. So they put the body in probably the worst way you can do it when you're playing golf, and then expect it's going to work without injury. It's unlikely, you know. It's very high probability. Now, a funny thing about that stuff in the ski jumping, back in the 90s, everybody was ski jumping like this. They had the hands and the body like this, and then they, you know, jump like that. And this guy came along, booklet, right? He didn't, you know, he was not that well coordinated, and he struggled a bit with ski jumping. He started to put the arms out like this and the legs out like that, and, you know, and got more, that's how airplanes work. And he started to do that, and everybody was laughing at it. Let me tell you, you know, Norwegian didn't want it because it was not traditional or something. Then he became the best ski jumper a whole season. He became the World Cup champion, best in the world. No one was laughing anymore. The year after that, everybody started to jump like Buklöv. That's why he called the Buklöv style. So a Swede, you know, did that, and what people don't know is jumping like that dropped the injury rate for ski jumpers with 30%. Because if you jump with your hands and legs together, this is what will happen. It's very easy to get the wind comes in and you go and you fall and you injure yourself. 30% less injuries. With what this amateur is doing in his golf swing, injury rate goes down because you don't put your spine in the position where it twists and you compress it while you jump up or something like that. That's what PGA teaches people. It's just stupid. And then people tell me that that's the best way to do it. And I'm like, are you sure? Are you really sure you know what you're talking about? Are you quoting some, no PGA guy like Sean Fogel or something like that? He knows what he's doing. Are you sure they know what they're doing? Because all the proof of how golfers perform doesn't support any PGA teaching instruction or PGA 2 guru. There's no evidence supporting what they know what they're doing. Sorry to say, I tell you. That's, the life of PGA 2 gurus. So take that tip, they have a caddy from the contour here. He can just ask his guy to, take and film his swing, an iron swing from that angle that this guy had that I posted. And then ask this guy, which one do you want? Do you want your swing or you want this guy's swing? Do you know what he's going to pick? He's going to pick my guy every time. He doesn't know why. He just knows that will work better for him. He just knows it. It's one of those funny, instinctive things. You walk out and you see someone doing something, that's different, but it's better. Funny thing about human brains and skills people learn. So yeah, I think PGA is a big embarrassment, and the problem is not the people teaching it. There's nothing wrong with the PGA to guru. It's just everything they learn about, they go through an education is wrong. It doesn't work the way they teach it, and then people develop all the bad habits. I mean, if you take someone at the beginner, and you can see them, you can't even hit the fucking ball. It's very easy to teach people to how to hit the ball when they're a beginner, and how to do it, and you have to hit it flush within no time. But a PGA they can't teach it, because as soon as you take them on the golf grip, everything goes out the window, and you have to compensate and be stuck and lose 50 meters from tee, and then you keep telling people that I'm working on it and I'm gonna find the secret. There is no secret. It's just skills, and I don't know them. I know how they work. Explicitly can tell people how they work, why you're supposed to do it this way, not the other way. A two-pro never heard that in their life. They were like, I kind of struggle with my swing, and the two-pro guru go, well, if you keep doing this for a couple of years, it will work, and it never does. That's the heritage of PGA instruction, and PGA. It's so bad. I wish it wasn't. But once I did my research and tested things, I knew that, oh yeah, these guys are absolutely fucking clueless about what they teach. You will always fight your swing and body mechanic as a two pro. Amateurs even worse with what PGA teaches. That's how it works. That's the science. That's all the evidence points to that. That people doesn't want to accept the evidence. That's people, because everything you learn about golf comes from PGA. So I mean, you don't stand a chance when something else comes along like me. I mean, in high jump, do you know how they were teaching high jump? Everybody, this was the bar here, right? They would jump at the front of the body, and they would jump over the bar like that. And then this guy came along and started working to jump with the back to the bar. Did you know that you use more muscle to jump up if you have the back to the bar than you use with the front? Now, the reason why they were jumping with the front of the bar was that they were landing on sand, about, 60, 70 years ago, 80, 90 years ago. But then all this, soft cushion, plastic material came along, and they could land on a pillow. And so Fosbury and some others, was a British lady doing that too, experimented with this, and they felt, this is what they did, they felt when they jumped with the back to the bar, they felt, it feels I can jump higher like this. And they can. That's biomechanically superior to the other way they were jumping. But if you were a kid and your parents took you to a high jumper, what do you think they're going to teach you back in the 60s? Everybody would teach it to your kid to jump like this over the bar, or jump throw. And then Fosbury came along and did that, and everybody was like, what the fuck, man? Stop fucking us up, man. And everybody changed, like they did with the ski jumping. But everybody would tell you before Fosbury did his thing, or Buchla did this thing, and this is not the way to do it. And now it is the way to do it. Especially in high jump, it's very obvious, the difference of and even in ski jumping. Because if you tell people that today, why don't you ski jump with your hands and with your skis together and your hands together, they will just look at you and say, you're fucking stupid. Today, no one would teach that. Well, why did they do it before? Well, maybe they didn't know any better. Well, they had the airplane back then, and kites, and they should have known if I put up my arms and start when I ski jump, I will fly it longer and ski jump longer. Yeah, but it was not tradition. Do you know how many people do tradition? They did that in war camps. soldiers, I want you to go out there and kick their asses of the prisoners. Well, that's a war crime. Do it anyway. No, I don't want to do that. Well, if you don't do it, we're going to kill your fucking family. Or we shoot you. What are you going to do as a soldier? Well, you're going to follow orders, or you're going to get your ass kicked, or you'll get killed. People don't think about this stuff. It was a social experiment back in, I don't know when it was, early 50s, 60s or something like that. They had a bunch of students, and they told the students, you are going to be prisoners, you're going to be prison guards. Okay. They had to stop the experiment early because the prisoner guard students started to beat the shit out of the prisoners who were also students. Well, I'm a prisoner guard, you have to do what I say or I'll kick the shit out of you. That attitude, hey, well, we don't tolerate shit like that here. And they beat the shit out of them. They have to stop the experiment. It was another experiment when they had a student come in and said, you're going to ask this other guy on the other side of this room, and when they get the answer wrong, you're going to press a button and give him electric shock. And every time he gets the answer wrong, you're going to increase the power. No matter what happens with the test subject, you're just going to have to do it. I don't know exactly the numbers here. Memory is not, but around 60, 70, 80% of the students kept pushing that button even when the electricity was lethal to the test subject. And they were screaming, I'm dying, They kept pushing that button because they got the answer wrong. They kept doing it. So when an authority person from PGA comes and I'm a 2-pro or I'm teaching 2-pros, do you know what most golfers do? Oh, wow. They think they're a god and they must know what they're doing. You can't think because they are an authority on the subject, right? And when the same guys come to me, I look at them and go, you don't know what you're talking about. Everything you know about golf swings and golf body works and all the stuff is wrong. You teach it wrong. You don't know what you're doing. You're basically incompetent. But people, have a tendency to, well, they must know what they're doing because they are PGA certified, Because you can't think outside the box. You become like those students. Push the button, kill them. And you ask them, why did you keep pushing the button? You were killing them. And some of the students pushing that button got mental issues after because they thought they had killed someone. And they still did it. They didn't go, wait a minute, if I push this button, is this guy or lady, whatever they are behind this bar, gonna die? Yeah, well, and very, very few people didn't want to do it. So let's say 70%, 7 out of 10 people would still push that fucking button because they were told to push the button when they got the answer wrong. They couldn't think for themselves. And I think that's pretty scary in a society that that everybody you meet, 7 out of them will push that button and kill you because someone else told them to do it. That's how, hierarchy, ladders of leadership, government, stuff like that. I'm a prime minister and I know what I'm talking about. No, you don't. You're a fucking criminal, You're incompetent. No. Yeah. It's kind of weird, but it's scary also. But that's how humans operate. Someone with authority, you accept that authority, you will just go, okay, I will push a button. 7 out of 10 people will kill you because someone told them to do it. It's very, very hard to step out of, the comfort zone of PGA and such. Because PGA has been, withstanding for 100 years, give or take. And they don't know what they're doing. They haven't figured out, so they keep teaching 2-pros to struggle because the time and coordination needed is just too much. They can't do it consistently. They know it. They just don't know why. I know why. And the reason why I'm not out there teaching is because I'm starting to feel my head now, so I have to quit here. I have an energy recovery illness, and I can't travel really. Last time I traveled last summer for a couple of days down south a bit, and I was on painkiller for 3 days because my body was just, oh yeah, I don't want to be here. My body was just hurting. So I had to, be on painkiller for 3 days. I could do what I did there, and that's not fun if you want to go travel. I want to travel. I would love to go to, New Zealand to see Hobbiton. I would go to see Australia stuff, pyramids, for example, pretty cool stuff. But lucky enough, we have, Google Maps nowadays. So, oh, there's the pyramids. Looks cool. Then you turn around, you see a whole city behind them. And well, that's not so cool. Anyway, have a good time. I'm gonna quit now. But on my head. Just know that PGA is not supported by any evidence. It just doesn't work so well. Hope you had fun today. I had.